Right. We were into Indus Valley sites. We covered Harappa, Mohenjo-daro and Chenho-daro, right? The other important sites being Kalibangan, Banbali, Lothal, Surkotada and Suktajind. Surkotada, then you have Rangapur, Dholvira, you have to add Rakhi, Ghari and all that. From this particular part of the topic, I told you you are getting questions in prelims. Cities. After Chenho-daro, when you go to Kalibangan, listen. I mentioned Kalibangan for the first time, if you remember, under Proto-Harappan times. Kalibangan on the banks of river Ghaggar or otherwise Gagal in Rajasthan. This site was excavated by archaeologist Dr. Ghosh. While explaining Chalcolithic age, I told you there is a culture called Soti in Rajasthan. Kalibangan is closely connected to Soti. That's why Kalibangan as a culture, it comes under Soti culture. It's part of Soti culture. If you remember in Maharashtra, I told you Jorvi, Chalcolithic times. Closely connected to Jorvi, I told you there are 5 villages. Inamgam, Nivesha, Daimabad, remember? Likewise, closely connected to Soti, you have Kalibangan. That's why Kalibangan, otherwise called Soti culture. This is the question. Which Indus Valley site is called Soti culture? Kalibangan. Now you enter into the city Kalibangan, archaeological site. What do you see there? My dear, remember, Rajasthan in prehistoric times, most fertile land. Yeah. Now it is deserted. Desert. Understand? In prehistoric times, very fertile land, Rajasthan. Maximum number of rivers flowing via Rajasthan. Tracks very fertile. Okay. Suggesting that in Kalibangan we had come across world's biggest unit of land. In the entire prehistory, the biggest unit, you can say, biggest unit of land meant for extensive cultivation is found in Kalibangan. That's a proof that Kalibangan is a very fertile land. Okay. You have wide extensive cultivation there. Supporting the evidence, wide extensive cultivation further, you also had seen plough, P-L-O-U-G-H, a plough of Indus Valley times found there, suggesting extensive cultivation. What is really interesting about Kalibangan is, Indus Valley is known for underground drainage systems. Indus Valley civilization known for sanitation, bathrooms, washrooms, toilets and all that. In Kalibangan you don't see this. In Kalibangan we have no evidence for washrooms and underground drainage systems. Very interesting. Secondly, you go to any Indus Valley site, you see there the images of Mother Goddess. People of Indus Valley times worshipping woman, that is called Mother Goddess. Kalibangan is the site, that doesn't give us evidence for worshipping Mother Goddess. On the other hand, in Kalibangan you see fire altar Fire altars suggesting the fire cult, worshipping fire. Okay. In Kalibangan, you see fire altar. Have you ever come across these structures? In temples, okay, when you perform ritual and ceremony, okay, we construct altar. We offer ghee there, invoking Agni. Are you understanding? That type of structures are called fire altar. Fire altars meant for worshipping Agni, suggesting fire cult. This you see in Kalibangan. Rajasthan being the land for camels, in Kalibangan you had seen camel skeletons also. Camel skeletons were found. And in Kalibangan, very interestingly, you see a very peculiar burial practice. A burial practice, you call it as a cist burial. C-I-S-T, cist. Cist burial means brick chambered burial. Brick chambered burial. Looking like a single bedroom apartment for the fellow dead. For the fellow dead. His drawing room, his kitchen, right? Like that. Okay. This is called cist burial. Brick chambered burial. For a long time this practice continued even in South India. Someone asked me, sir, Buddhist stupa, okay, you have its stupa starting with Buddhism, or stupa had much earlier beginning? Stupa had much earlier beginning. When I go to South Indian cultures, I will tell you. Megalithic culture. Mega, big. Lith means a stone. You arrange stones in different shapes. That had become the basis for stupa. That had become the basis for even temple architecture also. Hindu temple. Devagriha. First you have the name called Devagriha for the temple. Are you understanding? When I go to architecture, I will tell you all that. So, cist burial, a peculiar burial practice. This you see in Kalibangan. For all that, Kalibangan is important. Then you go to Haryana. There you have, Banwali, site Banwali. Both Kalibangan and Banwali, they appeared in Proto-Harappan stage and continued even in Harappan stage. That's the question in UPSC. What were the two Indus Valley sites found in both Proto-Harappan and Harappan stages? Kalibangan and Banwali. This site Banwali on the banks of river Saraswati. Sir, you mean Saraswati a reality? Is it a myth? For a long time we believed that Saraswati river was a myth because you have no evidence. First of all, you have no will to establish evidence. Got the point? Be very objective. When my epic Ramayana says Ram was there, I must first of all try to understand whether really Ram was there or not. I can't say dogmatically and in an audacious manner that there is no Ram at all. Bhul jao bhai, Ram nahi hai, kahan hai Ram? This is, not a right way of putting things. You work hard first to establish. If you can't, then it's a different story. A section of historians never accept anything that is, constructive about Indian history. Got the point? That's unfair. Right? Someone told me that, sir, you are praising British. There are certain areas where I praise British. Yes, I praise British. Okay. There are certain areas where you criticize British. Criticize. Okay. What is important is a very balanced approach is very important. Are you understanding? Okay. You cannot conceal facts. Facts will surface. Okay. If not today, sometime or the other. Right. So here, Saraswati River, was it a reality or it's a mere fiction? Okay, we depended upon remote sensing satellites for that to give us a picture about the course of river Saraswati. With that we could establish the course of river Saraswati. Yes, it's a fact. Saraswati flowing via Haryana and Rajasthan. This site Banwali on the banks of river Saraswati, excavated by Dr. Bist. Bist was the archaeologist connected with the excavations of Banwali. People of Banwali cultivated extensively barley cultivation. Staple food of Indus Valley times, number 1 wheat, number 2 barley. Barley cultivation evidence comes from Banwali. Then you go to Gujarat. Remember, most of the Indus Valley sites in India are located in the state Gujarat. Most of the Indus Valley sites. Maximum number of Indus Valley sites, I should say. In present India, you have them located in Gujarat. To begin with, Lothal. L-O-T-H-A-L. What do you mean by Lothal? Lothal also means Mound of the Dead. That's a question in UPSC. Mohenjo-daro means Mound of the Dead. Question, what is the other Indus Valley site with the same meaning, Mound of the Dead? That is Lothal. Lothal on the banks of river on the banks of Cambay, Arabian Sea, Cambay, in Gujarat. This site Lothal was excavated by marine archaeologist Dr. S.R. Rao, Sri Ranganath Rao, very dynamic archaeologist, 93, 94 S.R. Rao, age-wise. You know marine archaeology, when you want to make studies on the towns, cities and the places submerged under water, under the sea, then you are marine archaeologist. While he was searching for the sites that got submerged under Arabian Sea in the Gujarat coast, he had come across Lothal. What is more so interesting is, quite nearby Lothal, another site, what we call today Dwaraka. S.R. Rao is also connected with the discovery of the site Dwaraka. You know, in Mahabhagavat, you are told Krishna Bhagavan's last days, Gandhari cursed him. Understand? Whole, clan to perish before his eyes. You, Krishna, you could have stopped the war. You fellow, you wanted war. You saw to it that all my 100 sons killed. You don't know what is that pain. Let your entire clan perish before your eyes. This is my curse. Krishna Bhagavan turned aside and laughed. Why? Because there are so many curses. This is one amongst them. Understand? For a person, got the point. That's why Krishna lovable character. However, many pains and problems, that's what he tells Karna. Karna, what suffering you see, no one suffered like me. Volcanoes in my heart. But I always smile. One of my aunt, she is really blessed with this quality. Miserable life, poor woman. But I always find her smiling. She makes others also smile. This is what is really interesting. I love her like anything. Fantastic woman. Krishna's character is important for that. Ram is different. He behaved like a human being. Ram is not Bhagavan, great human being. Okay, that's why you made him Bhagavan. Understand? Perfect qualities. Right. So coming back to this, okay, Lothal, okay, S.R. Rao not only connected with Lothal, but also Dwaraka. Better we put a full stop there. Don't dwell into controversies, whether that is Dwaraka or Karaka or Malaka, Pulaka, you don't get into that controversy. Just say Dwaraka, full stop. Then what do we see here in Lothal? I already told you, Indus Valley city is planned in rectangular shape, generally entrance in the north, exit in the south. Whereas Lothal is the city with eastern entrance and western exit. This is what is one unique aspect of the site. Secondly, in Indus Valley sites, you see house construction, one entrance and one exit. Whereas Lothal is the place where houses have side entrances. Only side where you see house having side entrances. That is Lothal. What do we see in Lothal? Okay. Lothal, a major center for import and export trade. Major center. If any city is the center for import and export trade, then we call the city entrepot. A center for import, export and import trade. Any evidence? Yes, my dear. Indus Valley people were the first to go for international trade. They traded with Mesopotamia, Sumeria, okay, Persia, Egypt and Greece, Mongolia and South India. Expert traders. Evidence comes here in Lothal, where you see seal of Persians. Persia means present Iran. Iranian seal, you call it Persian Gulf seal, is found in Lothal. Secondly, in Lothal, we also come across a very big jar. You know, my dear, jar? J-R, jar. Pot is different, right? Pot is circular. Jar is cylindrical. Jar. Okay. A very big jar. Jar is found in Lothal. Okay. Around this jar, you see beautiful painting. Beautiful painting of the story of cunning fox. Story of cunning fox. Story of cunning fox in general, theme of Vishnu Sharma's Panchatantra. Okay. I am not telling you Vishnu Sharma was there in Indus Valley times. Now you people will go to that extent again. Okay. Everything I must make clear. Get the point. Okay. A story of a cunning fox, okay, resembling Vishnu Sharma's Panchatantra story. Class, please understand this. The great scholar Vishnu Sharma, the first Indian to write short stories. Vishnu Sharma belonged to age of the Guptas. He was not man of Indus Valley times. Right? Okay. When US President Barack Obama visited India, addressed the joint parliamentary session, Obama made three things quite clear. Number one, Panchatantra stories. Okay. No literature influenced me like Panchatantra. In a given choice, I wish I should sit with Gandhi for breakfast. Mahatma Gandhi. Okay. Next, I am a staunch devotee of Hanuman. Can you believe it? US President, former US President, Obama. Have you heard of Obama? Fantastic President, Obama. Black President. Okay. He always carry the image of Hanuman in his pocket. Understand? Right. So here you see, okay, a jar in Lothal, okay, with a beautiful painting of the story of cunning fox, okay, resembling Vishnu Sharma's Panchatantra story. People of Lothal were the first to cultivate rice around 1800 BC. Get me right. First to cultivate rice around 1800 BC in the Indus Valley zone. Clear? I already told you, okay, people of Mahagara near Allahabad in UP, they were the first to cultivate rice. Remember? In the Neolithic age. I am not talking about that. In Indus Valley zone, where do you have the evidence for cultivation of rice for the first time? It is Lothal. People of Lothal, they were the first to cultivate rice. In Lothal, you also see elephant tusk, okay, dice, you know cards. Dice means cards. Indus Valley people's main hobby, playing cards. This you see in Lothal. In Lothal, we also see coffin burial, like that of Harappa. You know coffin burial? Dead bodies kept in the wooden chambers. That is coffin burial. Fire altars. Just now I told you Kalibangan you have fire altars. In Lothal also we see fire altars, suggesting Agni worship. For all this, Lothal is very important. Clear? Take a note. After Chenhudaro gave the subheading Kalibangan, K-A-L-I, Bangan, B-A-N-G-A-N, Kalibangan. What is the literal meaning? Right, black bangle. Kalibangan, literal meaning black bangle. Full stop. It is located, Kalibangan, located on the banks of river Gagar. On the banks of river Gagar, G-H-A-G-A-R. Gagar or Gagal, you can write L also. Gagar, located on the banks of river Gagar in Rajasthan. Full stop. It was excavated by Dr. Ghosh, archaeologist, Dr. A. Ghosh, initial A, Ghosh, G-H-O-S-H, Dr. Ghosh, full stop. Next paragraph. It is closely connected to Kalibangan, closely connected to Soti, S-O-T-H-I, Soti culture, S-O-T-H-I, full stop. It experienced both, Kalibangan experienced both Proto-Harappan and Harappan stages of development. Proto-Harappan and Harappan stages of development. Full stop. Next paragraph. The biggest unit of land, in the entire prehistory, is found in Kalibangan, suggesting extensive cultivation, supporting it, a plough, P-L-O-U-G-H, a plough was also found. Full stop. Next paragraph. It is the city without evidence for, Kalibangan is the city without evidence for washrooms, underground drainage systems, and worshipping Mother Goddess. Full stop. Next, we find fire altars. Fire altars, suggesting fire altar, A-L-T-R, fire altars suggesting Agni cult or fire worship. Agni, A-G-N-I, cult, C-U-L-T. Agni cult or fire worship. And a peculiar burial practice called cyst burial, C-I-S-T. Underline cyst burial. Full stop. Next paragraph. Camel skeletons are also found. Camel skeletons were also found. Fine. That's enough on Kalibangan. Next, give the subheading. Next site. Banwali. In Haryana. Banwali, located in Haryana, on the banks of river Saraswati. On the banks of river Saraswati. Full stop. It was excavated by Banwali, excavated by archaeologist Best. B-I-S-T, Best. Full stop. Kalibangan and Banwali. Were the two Indus Valley sites which experienced both Proto-Harappan and Harappan, Kalibangan and Banwali both experienced Proto-Harappan and Harappan stages of development. Proto-Harappan and Harappan stages of development. Full stop. People of Banwali cultivated quite extensively barley. Banwali people cultivated barley. Full stop. Next paragraph. In present India, most of the Indus Valley sites are located in the state Gujarat. Full stop. Now give the subheading Lothal, L-O-T-H-A-L. L-O-T-H-A-L. Lothal. Located on the banks of Cambay. C-A-M-B-A-Y, Cambay, in Gujarat. Full stop. It was excavated by marine archaeologist, marine, M-A-R-I-N-E, marine archaeologist, Dr. S.R. Rao, Sri Ranganath Rao, S.R. Rao. Full stop. He was also connected with the discovery of the site Dwaraka Full stop. Next paragraph. Lothal is the other Indus Valley city. Next paragraph. Lothal is the other Indus Valley city with the same meaning, meaning Mound of the Dead, inverted commas, Mound of the Dead, like Mohenjo-daro, Mound of the Dead, like Mohenjo-daro. Full stop. Next paragraph. It is the city with eastern entrance and western exit. Eastern entrance and western exit with houses having side entrances. SID, side entrances. Full stop. Next paragraph. It was a major center for Lothal, a major center for import and export trade. Full stop. As an evidence for that, as an evidence for that, comma, Persian Gulf Seal. Persia means Iran. Ancient times, Persia. Today, Iran. Persian, Persian, Persian Gulf, Gulf. Persian Gulf Seal, Seal. Underline Persian Gulf Seal was found here. Next. People of Lothal were the first to cultivate rice, R-I-C, rice in the Indus Valley zone. In the Indus Valley zone around 1800 BC. Around 1800 before Christ, BC. Full stop. Next. Mark this important. This point is very important. Next. A big jar was found. Big, B-I-G. Jar, J-A-R. Big jar, J-A-R. Jar was found with a beautiful painting around. With a beautiful painting around. The story of cunning fox. The story of cunning fox, F-O-X, fox. Cunning fox. Full stop. The story comes close to, the story comes quite close to Vishnu Sharma's Panchatantra. Vishnu Sharma, apostrophe S. Vishnu Sharma's Panchatantra stories. Underline Panchatantra, P-A-N-C-H-A. Tantra, T-A-N-T-R-A. Panchatantra stories, within brackets. He was the first Indian to write. Very important. Vishnu Sharma, first Indian to write short stories. And he belonged to the age of Guptas. He belonged to the age of Guptas. Brackets close. Full stop. Next. Elephant tusk. Elephant tusk. T-U-S-K. Tusk. Elephant tusk, comma, dice, D-I-C. Dice or cards, playing cards. Playing cards or dice, D-I-C, dice. And dice, comma, fire altars, F-I-R-E, fire altar, A-L-T-R, altars, and coffin burials, coffin, C-O-F-F-I-N. I already told you while discussing Harappa, right? Coffin burials were all the other things found. There's one important point I missed out here. What is that? Very good. Dockyard, that's right. There's another one. Anyway, I'll recollect it later. Add one more. Please continue that. An artificially built naval dockyard. An artificially built naval dockyard, comma, the first and the earliest known port. First and the earliest known, K-N-O-W-N, port, P-O-R-T, port, was built in Lothal. Right. Now I could recollect this point. You remember Chenhudaro, a major center for bead making? The other major center, Lothal. There's a question on that. Kindly note that. Like Chenhudaro, C-H-A-N-H-U, D-A-R-O, Chenhudaro, comma, Lothal was the other major center for bead making industry, B-E-E-D, bead making industry. What are the two cities for bead making? Chenhudaro and Lothal. So next to Mohenjo-daro, I am telling you Lothal very important. Right. Now listen. Put a full stop there. Listen. Quite nearby Lothal, you have Surkottada, Indus Valley site Surkottada, on the banks of river Bhogua in Gujarat. This site Surkottada, excavated by Jagapat Joshi. What is the importance of the site? Like Lothal, Surkottada, a major center for trade and commerce. More than that, in Surkottada you find horse skeletons. Class, this is very important, matter. For a long time we believe, and even today also we believe, okay, there is no definite evidence for us on the knowledge of horse for Indus Valley people. Understand these things. Our knowledge about animals is very much constrained. Okay. It is limited to our geographical zone only. Even today. Do you know all the animals? Have you seen all the animals in this world? Okay. Did you see kangaroo? Did you see panda? For you to see a kangaroo, you have to go to Australia. Okay. You don't say that, sir, I have seen it in the TV. Right. Someone was telling me, I know Modi very well. How do you know Modi very well? Because I see him every day in TV. ऐसा नहीं है. I thought personally he is connected. The way that brother is talking about, suit, boot, coat, hat and all that highly, upward mobile. So I thought that, okay, he is closely connected to the power bank, there in the center, Delhi. Then he was telling me, it's a big joke. Okay. I see him every day in the news, TV channels. Yeah, that's how that you know him. Fine. Even a kid knows. You understand? Fine. So, you see, we just can't have the knowledge of all the animals all over the world. Okay. Indus Valley zone, there is no chance of Indus Valley people to know about horse. Horse is the animal you find in Persia, Central Asia. Okay. In India, even today, you don't have good horse breeding points. Kathiawar region, Gujarat, but that breeding point is not that good. In sense, horses are not that strong, our Indian bred horses. Okay. That's why Arabian horse, Persian horse, royal, majestic. Understand? So we continue to believe, and we are still believing, that Indus Valley people had no knowledge of horse. For a while, our belief was disproved. Okay. You had evidence given in Surkotada in the form of skeletons. Okay. So we all believed that yes, these skeletons were horse skeletons, and Indus Valley people had the knowledge of horse. But subsequent, chemical examinations done on these skeletons proved that they are not definitely of horse. They might have been that of mule. Are you understanding? Okay. Crossbreed between horse and donkey, mule. So we have this, that's why you have to write like this. Okay, NCERT is written this way. Horse skeletons are found. They have not revised their observation. Problem is, archaeologists and textbooks, they don't revise their opinions. Printed again, not revising. Okay. So the point here is, we have horse skeletons found in Surkotada, but not giving definite evidence on the knowledge of horse. That's how you have to say. Because you cannot dispute the finding. It is written that they are the skeletons of horse. But the latest finding says that they are not skeletons of horse. So horse skeletons found, but they are not giving us definite evidence on the knowledge of horse for Indus Valley people. That's how you have to conclude. Further, Dholvira is important. I'm sorry, Surkotada, important. Surkotada. Closely connected to Surkotada, you have Rangpur in Gujarat. Rangpur site excavated by M.S. Watts, Pandit M.S. Watts. This is the other Indus Valley site where you have rice cultivation. Two Indus Valley sites giving us evidence. One is Lothal, the other one is Rangpur. At Rangpur, you have rice husk found, husk, H-U-S-K, giving us definite evidence on the cultivation of rice. Two Indus Valley cities giving us evidence, Lothal and Rangpur. Then you go to Dholvira. Dholvira in Ran of Kutch region, Gujarat. This site excavations started in 1990, and they continued up to 92 for 2 years. Jagapat Joshi connected with Surkotada and Best connected with Banwali, both were involved here in the excavations of Dholvira. Okay. What is the importance of Dholvira? Before year you got a question in the prelims on this side, Dholvira. My dear, Dholvira is best known for water conservation projects. Amazing. It is called Jaladurga. 30% of the size of the settlement, 30% of the site is spared only for water conservation projects. Understand? Water conservation. Land meant for sock pits. Have you heard of sock pit, my dear? Okay. Rainwater conservation. Okay. Today, it's a concrete jungle. Right? We are going for extensive construction. You construct flats, you construct roads, you expand city. Where is the place for this water, rainwater, to be absorbed by earth? Cement road, concrete road. Are you understanding? Indus Valley people, they exhibited remarkable knowledge on water conservation. Cut the rock, very huge rock cut water tanks. Can you believe it? Rock cut water tanks for conserving water, storing water. Sock pits. Understand? 1/3 of the place is meant for water conservation. Plus, before here you got a question on this. Which Indus Valley city gives us a wonderful illustration of water conservation projects? It is Dholvira. Secondly, if you remember, I told you all Indus Valley cities, they are planned in the rectangular shape, right? And developed in the rectangular shape. Whereas Dholvira is planned and developed in circular shape. The city planned and developed in circular shape, Dholvira. Next, in Dholvira, you also had come across earliest stadium for indoor games in the entire prehistory. The earliest stadium for indoor games, this is also found in Dholvira. Then, longest inscription. Okay. Indus Valley people, class remember, they had their own script. Indus Valley script is called pictography. Okay. The language of pictures engraved on sandstone slabs. This is a sandstone slab. On this sandstone slab, they engrave the script. Script is not essentially a script, it is a picture first. They draw pictures. Are you understanding? That's why the script is called pictography, the language of pictures. Right? In this script called pictography, in every sentence you will have maximum of 3 or 4 pictures. Are you understanding? Maximum of 3 or 4, not more than that. Right. In between these pictures, they also use immature alphabets. Like this, making our task very difficult. Okay. I don't know whether I told you this or not. Studying Indus Valley script is like going to modern painting exhibition. Okay. You just can't understand what these paintings are. Okay. All India National Award winning painting. National Award winning painting. Okay. My cousin brother, excellent painter. Okay. He had done one painting. I just could not make out anything. Within 2 minutes, simply one parallel line, another parallel line, vertical lines in between, one red dot on that, and he darkened the entire paper. He gave it to me. ये क्या है भाई, कुछ भी नहीं करता. And now you must have the spirit to understand that. He told, what is the spirit? Kindly, I don't have the spirit. You tell me. That is the train going in the darkness. Then I realized it's absolutely right like that. Okay, fantastic idea. So unless he tells me, I can't make out anything. Similarly, you must get back the Indus Valley fellows. They must come back from their graveyards, stand behind us and tell us how to look at the script. There is no chance of you deciphering this script. Okay. I can understand, okay, some pictures are there, they are trying to communicate. They complicated the problem with immature alphabet again. वो alphabet क्या है वो? किसी को नहीं मालूम है. Okay. So they have this script. Now coming to Dholvira, you had come across in Dholvira longest inscription with 10 pictures in one single sentence. Are you understanding? For all these things, Dholvira is very important for us. From Dholvira, you go to Rakhi Ghari. Again, Rakhi Ghari in Haryana. I have to come back to Haryana. I don't know whether I told you this or not. Rakhi Ghari, the biggest Indus Valley site. Biggest Indus Valley, biggest of all the Indus Valley sites. Put it together, India and Pakistan. India and Pakistan. Rakhi Ghari the biggest. Next to Rakhi Ghari, you have Mohenjo-daro. Next to Mohenjo-daro, Harappa. This is the hierarchy of the extension of the sites. Understand? Rakhi Ghari's importance, I told you, I think, while explaining post-Harappan culture. This is the place where, even after the end of IVC continued. You remember? Jukar, Jungar, I told you, Indus Valley cities where, even after the decline of IVC, Indus Valley civilization continued. Culture continued. Rakhi Ghari is the other side. And above all that, very important. In Rakhi Ghari, we had come across Indus Valley skeletons. Right? Skeletons of post-Harappan times also. Then we made DNA testing on these skeletons of post-Harappan times in Rakhi Ghari. DNA test findings are what? DNA not changed. What the DNA you see from pre-Harappan times, it is just the same DNA even after Indus Valley. I mean, even during post-Harappan times. This finding is a revelation. It's sensational. Okay. On the basis of this finding, you can say that there was no race called Aryan entering into Indus Valley zone. DNA not changed. Theory continued to be told us was what? Aryans, foreigners, they came from outside, they entered India, they destroyed Indus Valley civilization, they got mixed up with the native non-Aryans. So Aryans different, non-Aryans different. This is what the theory you propagated. Now you don't see any difference at all. DNA is just the same of the people of that area, whether he is an Aryan or a non-Aryan. So Aryans were definitely not foreign. They are very much native. If any foreign race enters and establishes a social and cultural intercourse with the native race, then definitely DNA would undergo a change. Are you understanding? DNA remains just the same. Okay. For that, findings of Rakhi Ghari very important for us. Are you clear? Take a note. After Lothal, next give the subheading. Next site, Surkotada. Surkotada, Surkotada. Surkotada. On the banks of river. Surkotada. On the banks of river Bhogua in Gujarat. Bhogua in Gujarat. Full stop. It was excavated by Jagapat Joshi. Site was excavated by Jagapat Joshi. Full stop. Next, like Lothal, it was a major center for trade and commerce. Full stop. Next. Horse skeletons were found here. Very, very important. Mark it important. Horse skeletons were found here. But not giving definite evidence. But not giving definite evidence on the knowledge of horse for the Indus Valley people. Mark the statement important. Next. After Surkotada, next site, Rangpur. Rangpur. It was excavated by, wait. It is located in Gujarat. Located in Gujarat, excavated by Pandit M.S. Watts. Pandit M.S. Watts, VATS. Full stop. It is the other side. It is the other side giving us the evidence on cultivation of rice. Full stop. Rice husk is found here. Rice husk, H-U-S-K. Husk is found here. Next. Next site. Dholvira. D-O-H-L. Yeah, D-H-O, that's right. Dholvira. Dholvira. Located in Rann of Kutch. Located in Rann, R-A-N, Rann of Kutch. Rann of Kutch, Gujarat. It was excavated by Jagpat Joshi, who is connected with Surkotada. I have given you the name, Jagpat Joshi. Excavated by both, right like that, both Jagpat Joshi of Surkotada and Bist of Banwali. Jagpat Joshi and Bist of Banwali. Banwali between 1990 to 92. 90 to 92. Between 1990 to 92. Full stop. Next paragraph. It is called Jaladurga. Underline Jaladurga, Sanskrit term. J-A-L-A, Jala Durga, D-U-R-G. Jaladurga, underline that, comma. Best known for, site best known for its water conservation projects. nearly 1/3 of the area of the city, was meant for water conservation. With rock-cut reservoirs, with rock-cut water tanks, with rock-cut tanks, with rock-cut water tanks, reservoirs, and sock pits, S-O-A-K, sock pit, P-I-T, sock pits, P-I-T pit, sock pit, conserving it is called rain harvesting. Rain harvesting, sock pit, S-O-A-K-P-I-T, pit. Okay. Rain harvesting, we call it as, full stop. Next paragraph. Unlike other Indus Valley cities, it was planned and developed in circular shape. Planned and developed in circular shape. First, like Chenhudaro, mark it important, like Chenhudaro. It is the other site without citadel. It is the other site without C-I-T-A-D-L, citadel or citadel. You remember Chenhudaro had no fortified wall. There are two cities without fortified wall. One is Chenhudaro, the other one is Dolvira. I forgot to tell you that while explaining. Fine. Next. Earliest stadium in the prehistory. Earliest stadium in the prehistory for indoor games was found here. Next. Longest inscription with 10 pictograms in one single sentence. Was also found. Fine, that's enough. Next, give the subheading Rakhi Ghari. Is my voice audible? Rakhi Ghari, R-A-K-H-I. Ghari, G-A-R-H-I. Rakhi Ghari in Haryana. It's the biggest Indus Valley site. Biggest Indus Valley site of India and Pakistan put together. Of India and Pakistan put together. Full stop. Next. A post-Harappan settlement. It was a post-Harappan culture, culture that continued to survive. Culture that continued to survive even after the end of IVC. Next. DNA test, DNA test done on skeletons in Rocky Ghari, done, D-O-N-E. DNA test done on skeletons in Rocky Ghari proved that the DNA of the people proved that the DNA of the people just remained the same. Disproving the theory that Aryans, a new race, entered India. Fine. Is it clear? Put a full stop there. Let's see, there's a question here. What is the question? Simran. Question: rice husk was found as evidence. Isn't rice husk degradable? Okay. It is degradable, but not under the surface of the earth. When we are excavating, okay, my dear Simran, rice husk is preserved under the surface of the earth. If it is on the surface of the earth exposed, then definitely it would have been degradable. Are you understanding? You must have seen a movie, okay, Jurassic Park. How they could develop the dinosaur? Extracting the DNA of a mosquito. You understand? Mosquito that got freezed, okay, in an ice bowl. Okay. So it had not changed. It's just the same. Okay. So they extracted the DNA from that mosquito. Got the point? Which had bitten the dinosaur. With that they extracted the DNA. Hope you have understood. Okay. It is that the city was covered by dust and mud and all that, different layers. Okay. So husk remained just the same. Right. Not degraded. Fine. Now you go to the other aspects of Indus Valley civilization. If I say this is everything about IVC, Harappa, Mohenjo-daro, Surkotada, Kalibangan, Lothal and all that, this is great injustice to the great architects of the civilization. This is not everything about IVC. Greatness of IVC is reflected in their social formation, economic development, the way they developed art forms and all that. Class, please remember, hereafterwards whatever I am going to discuss, they are very important for your mains gender studies. There is every possibility of you getting a short note question on Indus Valley society, economy, concept mother goddess, Indus Valley art forms. Anything can be asked. Now, to begin with, what was Indus Valley Society? What shall we discuss under Indus Valley Society? To begin with, number one, society, nature, whether it was patriarchal or matriarchal. First you have to establish it. The problem is, I already told you, we are not in a position to give any final statement. You remember I told you the limitations. You have not been able to read their script. You don't know what language they had spoken. Right? Most of the Indus Valley cities not fully excavated. Then how can you say this is final? Yes, that's there in Indus Valley times. Problem is that at the same time you cannot deny the evidence. Evidence is there. Okay. So at a hypothetical basis, theoretical basis, conjectural level, we can say that it may have been. We are not in a position to say yes, it was. Are you understanding? You use the expression may have been. Right. This is the problem. Going by the evidence available, when we look at Indus Valley Society, yes, it appears to be matriarchal. Mother the head of the family. How do you say Indus Valley Society may have been matriarchal? On what basis? Okay. In their art forms, you see woman being worshipped. So woman given definitely precedence over man. Next, number two, Indus Valley ideas and institutions, they continued for a long time, not in North India, in South India. Okay. In South, you had for a long time, Indus Valley institutions continued. Worshipping bull, going for boat racing, bullfighting, even today. I told you we follow all this even today. I come from South. Okay. So we have these traditions. Okay. I told you, first I touched the feet of my mother. Mother is more important for us. Father is important, but he is secondary only. Mother is important for us. Okay. So matriarchy continued for a long time in South Indian history. Okay. No South Indian king reveals his father's name. He only reveals his mother's name. I am Gautami Putra, Vasishti Putra, like that. Great kings. Okay. It's that in South India, for a long time, matriarchy continued. In Indus Valley times also, matriarchy may have been the form of society. Because in South it continued. South followed Indus Valley civilization culture. Next, number three, in most of the post-Harappan cultures, okay, what I told you, okay, in even Afghanistan also, for a long time matriarchy continued. On the basis of this, you can surmise, you can conclude that matriarchy may have been the social formation of Indus Valley times. But you are not in a position to say, yes, it was. Got the point? May have been. Next, number two, who are the classes? You are using the word class. Why not caste? Caste system. Brahmin, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra. Why don't you use this? This caste system, what we follow today, Brahmin, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra, this was entirely a later development. It developed during Vedic age. You cannot apply this to Indus Valley times. These are Sanskrit words. Brahmin, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra. There was no caste system. This is exactly the reason why in South India we don't attach much importance for caste. Caste system is there, I am not denying. Okay. But we don't attach importance. Any festival in South, whole village would come together. This is great Dravidian culture. Okay. I can talk authoritatively on that because I come from that area. Okay. In our village festivals, we go to everyone's house, we intermingle with them and they come to our house. There is no restriction that they should not come into our kitchen and all that. Aisa nahi hai. I come from forward caste, but we interact very closely with lower caste. Very closely with lower caste. We call them mama, chacha, chichi and all that. Understand? Close interaction will take place. Because caste system was not there in South for a long time. When I go to South Indian state, I'll tell you on that. Here you had only class, no caste. In any society, if not caste system, classes would be there. Some division or the other a reality. Okay, don't say that that there was no caste system in Europe. European society, egalitarian, liberal society. Nonsense. Understand? They talk like that. They talk like that. They always aim at mudslinging. You India, you practice untouchability. Untouchability. अरे सही है भाई, साउथ अफ्रीका में आप क्या किया? Tell me. In South Africa you practice apartheid. Apartheid is no way different from untouchability. You fellows, you were the ones who traded in slaves. We never traded in slaves. You never treated human beings as human beings. You are teaching us moral lessons today. Modi absolutely right. When he said Britain, you shut up. You don't have to teach us human rights. First you clean your house. Okay. So here in Indus Valley times, there were only classes. Then who were the classes? Very rich merchants, traders. It's that they were very rich, they were the ruling class. You don't have Kshatriya there. Okay. Merchants, traders, craftsmen, peasantry, and working class. These were the social classes in the Indus Valley times. Next, what type of social life? Cities. Describe city life. How does the city look like? Question in UPSC. I told you, take any city of your choice. Describe city. I told you Mohenjo-daro is an excellent example. You can definitely write very well. Okay. Indus Valley cities planned in rectangular shape, developed and expanded in rectangular shape in general, with northern entrance and southern exit. Town planning on the model of grid system, GRID, grid. Grid looks like what? Vertical lanes and horizontal lanes. Streets very well planned. Okay. Each street crossing the other in the right direction. Right. End of the street, you see street pole. Street poles meant for night lighting. The village as born and brought up, we had for a long time no electricity. For a long time we had no electricity. I remember evening 6:37, Panchayat people used to come. They used to lit the lamp, street poles, street lights. Okay. Morning again they would come and remove them. Understand? For every street you had street pole, meant for evening lighting or night lighting. Right. Every house built with well-baked bricks, generally two-storied houses. One entrance, one exit point. On the left side of the entrance, you see the well. Ishanya, that is the place where we believe Isha, Ishan, God stays. In our Vastu Shastra, we expect water to flow in the Ishanya direction. Got the point? Then on the right side, Agneya, you will have kitchen. That's where you lit the flame. Right? You are not supposed to build there your bedroom. Husband and wife always fighting. Fire. Understand? Fire. The place where you are supposed to cook, you have built your bedroom means relationship would be fiery relationship. Understand? Not amicable. Okay. The way they built their house, that had become the basis for Indian Vastu Shastra. That is the importance. Okay. Then you have enough space left in the backyard. Okay. Washrooms, toilets outside the house. Sanitation. Understand? We are condemned to live in bedroom, these apartments, dirty apartments. The moment you open there, you toilet. There you go. Toilet. Washroom. Horrible. Okay. In village, you observe it, there is nothing called, apartment complex, nothing. Enough space. Okay. So that's why typical village house construction today comes very close to Indus Valley times. Washrooms outside, bathroom inside the house with the plastered flooring, tubs there for storing the water. Every house connected with main drainage system by sub-drainage systems. I already told you, underground drainage systems, utmost unique aspect of IVC with manholes. There are granaries for storing the grain. Citadel, one citadel outside the city, outer citadel. Within the city again, you will have inner citadels. These inner citadels were meant for marking the locality, whether it is for the rich or poor. A citadel, fortified wall, that's the place where the rich or poor stay. Just like our gated communities, what I told you. Okay. You mean social division was there? Yes, there was social division. Division between poor and the rich, always a reality. Okay. Then you have wonderful water flowing system, drinking water flowing system, distribution system in the Indus Valley cities. For that, separate canals were built. A person can easily enter into the canal and clean the canal also. They have taken enough care for that. Okay. Importance of this observation of town planning is, Indus Valley town planning had become the basis for today's town planning. You have in municipal administration a separate branch today, town planning. Okay. You know Chandigarh, first planned city we say. Planning itself started from Indus Valley times. Right. Then what were their food habits? Food habits, both veg and non-veg. We are both veg and non-veg. We find whatever that is convenient, we eat. Understand? Veg and non-veg difference nahi hai. Chicken अच्छा है तो खाएंगे. Veg and non-veg. Indus Valley people, both veg and non-veg. Staple food, wheat and barley. That's the staple food. Then they gave lot importance for appearance, decorative habits. Both women, men, particularly women were highly fashioned. I told you Indus Valley women highly fashioned. Okay. Imported lipsticks. Right. Imported lipsticks from Greece. Perfumes from Greece. Okay. One of my senior colleagues was complaining, sir, my daughter demands a perfume 14,000. 14,000 perfume. Okay. I told you, fault lies with you. You fellow, you encouraged her. Now you pay for her. 14,000 perfume. Ask her to shut her mouth. Understand? Take bath twice a day. No perfume. Because you didn't take bath, you tie up your taps November, October and open them in March, he said. That's why you want perfume. Huh? Nahi. Indus Valley woman, highly fashioned woman, okay, importing lipsticks, perfumes, going for different hairstyles. How do you know they had gone for different hairstyles? I told you, Indus Valley art. In the terracotta figures, clay dolls, right? You observe fantastic hairstyles. Okay. We call papadi. Okay. This the center part of the head. Okay. There you will have either crescent type of dollar fixed here for woman, particularly bride. Okay. This practice you see, tilak wearing tilak in Indus Valley times. Understand? Men used sharply chiseled copper and bronze blades for shaving. Okay, people coming from towns, highly fashioned. They gave a lot of importance for appearance. Then they had wide range of hobbies. Morning to evening you are working. 5 days, 6 days a week we are working. Okay, we must also know how to relax. We must also know how to relax. Okay. That's why I tell you people, study very well. 5 days, 6 days a week. 7th day, don't touch the textbook first of all. Throw the bother out. Okay. And go for movies or spend time with your friends. Relax. So that you come back charged, fully charged. Okay. Constantly you are into studies means that will have a negative effect, my dear. I told you in the very first class, relax. 4 or 5 hours a day. That's it. Brain can't take beyond that. Right? Indus Valley people knew how to enjoy life. That's why wide range of hobbies. Playing cards, dice. If you go to any village, this is the common scene you see. People playing cards. Number 1. Number 2, boat racing, bullfighting, cockfighting. Understand? I told you a couple of weeks back in my village, hectic schedule we had. Cockfighting. Understand? There is, I don't want to name one of my colleague, our colleague here. He comes from that area. He told me, Anna, we arranged everything. Your arrival is very important for us. I said, Tamudu, you go ahead. I have no, because I am rather preoccupied. I have another fight at, the other place. Okay. I have to go for. You are going for cockfight. Understand? Because we are trustees for 3 temples. I have to handle so many things there. No time. I said, you go ahead. Cockfight, bullfight, boat racing, understand? Singing, dancing, fishing. These are all the hobbies. Hobbies of Indus Valley people. Singing, dancing. Okay. That's why our village society, even today this is our reality. Okay. We don't think of tomorrow. Particularly certain sections of our society. They don't have tomorrow. Today is reality, that's all. You dance. Evening onwards, we have got to feed the fellow, otherwise he will create ruckus, you understand? Festival time, you have to give him money. You have to give him booze and all that. Okay, then he drinks and comes home and performs wonderful dance. You understand? Great entertainment you will get. Okay. These are all part of the hobbies of Indus Valley times. Then a fellow dead. How to dispose the dead body? End ritual. Okay. End ritual, it's generally by cremation. You have to bury the dead body. In burying the dead body also, there are different practices again. Okay. Mortimer Wheeler, the great historian and archaeologist Wheeler, he was connected with Indus Valley burial grounds. Extensive studies he had done. Common practice, what he had found was dead body buried in the sitting posture. head facing the north. Okay. That's the question in UPSC. Who still follow the same practice, keeping the dead body in the sitting posture, head facing the north. In Karnataka, people from Karnataka, you have Lingayats, okay, Veerasaivas, Jangam Devaras, and Vishabrahmins. We all follow the same practice even today. A dead body buried in the sitting posture, head facing the north. For us, north is abode of Lord Shiva, Mount Kailash. So you turn the face towards the north. Okay. Then you have partial burial. What is partial burial? Either one hand bone or one leg bone. Only one bone. We don't know what they would have done with the rest of the body. Understand? One bone buried. That is called partial burial. Then you consign the dead body to flame. Then you get ashes. Ashes. They are very sacred for us. We gather the ashes, preserve them in the pot. Right? This is called urn. U-R-N. Urn means it's a type of pot. Urn burial. Okay. They buried. Okay. They were very intelligent. They never ever tried to pollute the waters. Today we pollute the waters. We mix these ashes in the sacred waters. Finally, you are polluting the water. You Hindu, you are polluting the water. Ganga is sacred for you. Ganga is sacred for me. Definitely Ganga is different. But who is polluting Ganga? Don't blame other communities. You are polluting. Indus Valley people were more matured that way. They buried the pot. They did not mix it up with the waters. Urn burial, pot burial. Okay. Then I already told you, coffin burial. Remember? Cyst burial. These are all different types of burial practices. When you are discussing society, you have to deal with all these aspects. Clear? Go for your break. Is it time? Time for break? Go for break. Now listen. Listen, the Indus Valley economy, what it's all about. Then I will dictate. When it comes to economy, a solid agriculture basis provided, and that's why they could fare extremely well. For any economic system, agriculture is the backbone, the real development. Indus Valley people exhibited remarkable knowledge. Knowledge on crop cultivation, crop rotation, irrigation systems. They cultivated food crops, wheat, barley, rice, jawar, millets. They had the knowledge of all the food crops. Except sugarcane. No evidence of cultivating sugarcane. Okay. That's why their teeth not damaged. Got the point? In the excavations, the teeth are quite healthy. Is that we consume lot sugar and eat sweets horribly? Okay, you are going to dentist for every year you have to go to dental surgeon or dentist. Okay. When Hitler banned consumption of sugar in Germany, there are no dental problems for Germans. You know that? Okay. So here you see they had no knowledge of cultivating sugar except sugar cane. They cultivated almost all their food crops. Okay. Most important, the staple food, wheat and barley. There's a question. Indus Valley comes under wheat production zone. The largest crop was wheat. Commercial crops, cotton, most important cotton. I told you they were the first to cultivate cotton. I dictated, remember? Indus Valley people were the first to cultivate cotton. Greeks had come all the way, right, to Indus Valley zone for cotton. They used to call Indus Valley zone Sindan. Sindan, on the banks of river Indus. Indus for Greeks, Sind. S-I-N-D, Sind. Right. Persians called Hind. And British called Ind. Finally it is India. Got the point? That's how the word India derived. Greeks all the way coming from Greek for the sake of qualitative cotton in Indus Valley zone, Sindan. They had the knowledge of crop rotation. This time you went for cotton, next time you may go for, rice cultivation. Black soil, very fertile. Change the crop. This crop changing pattern, shifting pattern is meant for conserving the fertility of the soil. Okay. Crop rotation system. Similarly, Kharif and Rabi crops, seasonal crop cultivation. This season you cultivated this crop, next season other type of crops. This is called, crop rotation system and seasonal cultivation. They had the knowledge of all that. Then irrigation systems. Okay. They practiced more tank irrigation. They had the knowledge of canal irrigation, lift irrigation. But by and large it was village tank irrigation. They practiced. In some textbooks it is written that Indus Valley people had no knowledge of canal irrigation. That is a wrong statement, my dear. People who had gone for drainage system, you said that they have no knowledge of canal. Drainage system itself is canal. They had the knowledge of canal irrigation, but they did not go for canal irrigation for the main reason, river Indus always in floods. For rivers that are always causing floods, is it advisable to go for canals? Definitely not. You are welcoming a problem. Right? That's why they never went for canal irrigation. It does not mean that they had no knowledge. They had the knowledge. They had practiced even lift irrigation, lifting water from the lower level to the higher level for agriculture purpose. Then for transporting the goods from one area to the other, they used Ikka. E-K-K-A. Ikka means carts. Carts drawn by buffaloes, bullock carts, are drawn by oxen, ox. They are called Ikkas. They used Ikkas for transporting the goods from one place to the other. Even today in Gujarat you have this word Ikka. Ikka means cart, cart drawn. When it comes to trade and commerce, they were the first in Indian history to go for international trade. No one before them. They had had trade contacts with almost all the contemporary civilizations. I mean, they traded with Mesopotamia, Sumeria, Iran, that means Persia, then Egypt, Greece. They came to South India. They also went up to Mongolia, China's northern border, Mongolia. They had contacts with almost all the contemporary civilizations. What is the evidence? On what basis you say? Indus Valley seals. The best Indus Valley seals are not found in India. The best Indus Valley seals, I am telling you, my dear, they have found more in Mesopotamia. There is a place called Tele Asmar. Tele Asmar and Guri. These are the places, right, in Mesopotamia, Iraq. There you had these seals found. If Indus Valley seals were found in a place called Mesopotamia, that means definitely they had trade contacts there. Mesopotamians in their inscriptions, look at this. Mesopotamians in their inscriptions called Indus Valley Meluha. The word given by Mesopotamians for Indus Valley, Meluha. What is Meluha? Land of rivers. Land of rivers. I told you, Greeks called Indus Valley Sindhan. Right. And I mentioned while discussing Lothal, Persian Gulf seal was found in Lothal. So you have evidences to say Indus Valley had trade contacts with all these, civilizations. Right. Then what was import trade? What was export trade? They imported gold from Mesopotamia, silver from Sumeria, diamonds from Egypt. Egypt is known for diamonds, precious stones you call it as. Perfumes from Greece. Then they came to South India, Vindhya mountains, south. The foothills of this, Vindhya mountain region, it is known for steatite, a type of soft rock. I told you seals. They used to make seals out of steatite, right? And they also imported pearls, shells from South India. Then from Mongolia, they got agate. Agate, sandstone slabs, agate. Lapis lazuli, colorful stones. They got it from Shartugai. Shartugai in Afghanistan, Badakhshan region. These are all imports. Exports, food grains, constituted major item of export, followed by qualitative copper. You remember I told you Khetri mines, Rajasthan, provided copper. Right. This is import-export trade. What are the centers of trade? Lothal, Surkoteda, Balakot. Balakot and Suktajind. These two come under the present Sindh part of Pakistan. Balakot and Suktajind, main trade centers. Question in UPSC, for a merchant coming from Mesopotamia in his trade with Indus Valley civilization, what is the main entrance point? Mesopotamian on his way to Indus Valley, what is the main entry point? Main entry point, Dalaiman. What is Dalaiman? Dalaiman means Bahrain. Trace Bahrain. First he comes to Bahrain. From there he would enter into Indus Valley zone. Right. When they had gone for this extensive trade, how they carried out the trade? Internal trade, barter system. What is barter system? Exchange of goods for goods. I will give you grain, you give me copper. This is barter system. In the external trade, you have got to go for currency. Okay. You have to go for costly metal. Right? Their barter system won't work out. In external trade, they used gold and silver as the medium of exchange. In some textbooks it is written that seals were used. My dear, seals were being used. We are not disputing. Seals were being used to mark the ownership of the consignment. Okay. Not for currency. Seal is made of steatite. It has no value. Right? Value-wise, either you must give gold or silver. Right? Seals are used. Definitely seals were being used. Okay, for what? Seals were being used for marking the ownership of the consignment. I am sending this material. I will send this material with my seal. So that the moment you see that you can make out it had come from so and so. Are you understanding? The purpose of making the seal itself is to mark the ownership. SEAL, seal. Okay. Send it with your seal. This is what we say. Okay. Mark your ownership. Send it. Okay. So seals were being exchanged in the trade not as a medium of exchange. They were meant for establishing ownership. Right. Then what was the medium of exchange? How they carried out the trade? Mind blowing. They had their own measurement systems. Okay. If it is weights, basic unit of weight 13.62 grams. Basic unit of weight 13.62 grams. That is the basic unit of weight. Calculation 1, 2, 4, 5, 10, 20 and 50. 100, 200, 400. That's how their calculation goes. Are you understanding? Measurement. Basic unit of measurement 16. 16, 32, 64, 128, 256. That's how their measurement goes. Are you understanding? How do you know 16 as the basic unit of measurement? I don't know whether I told you this or not. You see 16 bars. Right? 16 bars. Next line 32. Next 64. That means which is the basic unit? 16 is the basic unit. That 16 had become the basis for our Indian rupee. 16 annas is equal to 1 rupee. We borrowed it from that matrix system. They had the knowledge of almost all the metals. Tell me, which metal then had no knowledge at all? Iron, because iron comes much later. Is it clear, my dear? This is about their economy. Take a note. I will give a note on economy. I don't give a note on society. I will circulate the synopsis again. Take a note. Economy. Agricultural economy. Agricultural economy provided a solid basis for basis for the development of Indus Valley economy. Full stop. Next paragraph. They cultivated almost all the crops except sugarcane. Full stop. Their main food crops are staple food, S-T-A-P-L-E. S-T-A-P-L-E, staple food, or main food crops were wheat and barley. Next, IVC comes under wheat production zone. Wheat production zone. Full stop. Next paragraph. They had the knowledge of crop rotation system, seasonal and seasonal cultivation, not common. Crop rotation system and seasonal cultivation. Season cultivation means Kharif and Rabi crops. Seasonal cultivation. Full stop. Next. They practiced agriculture by almost all the irrigation systems. Such as tank irrigation, lift irrigation, and they did have the knowledge of canal irrigation. Full stop. But they did not go much for canals. As rivers were always in floods. Full stop. Next. They used Ikkas, E-K-K-A-S, Ikkas, they used Ikka, E-K-K-A, underline Ikkas, for transporting the goods. Full stop. Next. In trade and commerce, underline trade and commerce. They traded with almost all contemporary civilizations, contemporary cultures or civilizations. Full stop. Greeks called Indus Valley zone Sindan, S-I-N-D-A-N. Underline Sindan, the land on the banks of river Indus. Sindan means the land on the banks of river Indus, known for cotton. Full stop. Mesopotamians called Indus Valley Meluha, M-E-L-U-H-A. Underline Meluha, M-E-L-U-H-A. Meluha, the land of rivers. Full stop. Cotton bales, cotton bale, B-A-L-E, cotton bales and seals of Indus Valley, cotton bales and seals, S-E-A-L, seals of Indus Valley were found in Mesopotamia, at a place called Tele Asmar. Establishing trade and commercial contacts. Full stop. Next paragraph. In the import trade, underline import, I-M-P-O-R-T, import trade, they imported gold from Mesopotamia, silver from Sumeria, S-U-M-E-R-I-A, Sumeria, what's the matter? Sumeria, an extension of Mesopotamia. Next, diamonds from Egypt, perfumes from Greece, next, colorful stones, within brackets, lapis lazuli, L-A-P-I-S, lapis lazuli, L-A-Z-O-O-L-I, lapis lazuli, L-A-P-I-S, L-A-Z-O-O-L-I, lapis lazuli, brackets close, from Shartugai, very important, a place called Shartugai in Badakhshan, B-A-D-A-K, Badakhshan part of Afghanistan, sandstone slabs from Mongolia, steatite, pearls, P-E-A-R-L-S, pearls and shells, pearls and shells from South India, full stop. Next, in the export trade, next paragraph, food grains, F-O-O-D, G-R-A-I-N, food grains was the most important item most important item of export, followed by copper. Copper. Full stop. Next paragraph. The major trade centers were Lothal, Surkoteda, Balakot, and Suktajendra. Balakot and Suktajendra, the last two in Sindh. Balakot and Suktajendra. Full stop. Next paragraph. For Mesopotamians, trading in the Indus Valley zone, the main entrance point was Dalaiman, within brackets, Bahrain. Full stop. Next. Next paragraph. In the internal trade, medium of exchange was barter system, full stop. In the external trade, gold and silver were being used. Full stop. Next paragraph, next sentence. Seals were being exchanged. Seal, S-E-A-L-S. Seals were being exchanged only to mark the ownership. Of the goods or consignments. To mark the ownership of the GOODS, goods or consignments. Not as consignments, not as medium of exchange. Not as medium of exchange. Full stop. Next. They had their own weights and measures. They developed their own weights and measures, underline weights and measures. In the weights, W-E-I-G-H-T-S, weights, the basic unit was 13.62 grams. In calculations, it was 1, 2, 4, 1, 2, 4, 10, 20, 50, 100 and 200. In other words, they had the knowledge of decimal system. They had the knowledge of decimal system. Next. Their basic unit of measurement was next paragraph. Their basic unit of measurement was 16 and its multiples. 16 and its multiples. Next. They had the knowledge of all the metals. They had the knowledge of all the metals except iron. Fine. That's enough on Indus Valley economy. Now listen. Just listen. Give me 5 more minutes time. Don't back off. When it comes to Indus Valley polity, system of administration, there is no agreed opinion among the historians who governed these cities. I told you everything is a matter of controversy here. But majority opinion was the cities must have been governed by traders and merchants. If traders, merchants and the rich section ruling the Indus Valley cities, then the type of governance can be called as oligarchy. Oligarchy. What is oligarchy? The rule of the rich. This is most accepted version, that rich merchants and traders may have ruled Indus Valley cities. Only one historian differs with the rest of the world. It was D.D. Koshambi, Damodar Dharmanand Koshambi. D.D. Koshambi, not a historian by profession, mathematician. He was the first to interpret Indian history in Marxist terminology, Marxist point of view. You have different schools and different ways of interpreting history. Okay. You have nationalist historians, you have Marxists, you have neo-Marxists, you have economic historians, you have annals, like that. I don't want to add more information on this and confuse you people. Marxist history means economic determinism. It is economy that is very important for understanding any society. That is simply Marxist way of interpreting it. Okay, there is more complicated. I don't want to go for that. Mode of production, they all use that. In world history, you will come to know all that. Okay. So first Marxist historian Koshambi in Indian history. For Koshambi, Indus Valley cities may have been governed by priests. Are you understanding? Why? Why? Because in many regards, Indus Valley was influenced by Mesopotamia. That means Iraq. In Mesopotamia, priest was the ruler. In Egypt, priest was the ruler. You called pharaohs of priests, in Egypt. They are the rulers. It's that Indus Valley had very good contacts with Mesopotamia. Okay. Mesopotamian influence was there. So priest may have been the ruler in Indus Valley times also. Right. This is the basis for Koshambi, to conclude that the priest may have been the ruler. But his opinion, most of the historians are not accepting. Got the point? If you have two historians on Indus Valley civilization, there will be three opinions. Okay. One for each and the remaining for both. Okay. In between, we are the confused souls. Okay. Chronology, I told you, chronology is also different. Which chronology should I tell you? There is one gentleman who is not happy. Sir, there is no post-Harappan culture at all. अरे भाई मैं दिखता हूँ आपको पोस्ट कल्चर हरप्पन कल्चर कहाँ है कि तुम्हारे टेक्स्ट में नहीं है, तुम्हारे टेक्स्ट बुक में नहीं है तो किसी नहीं होना है क्या? राइट? इट इज दैट यू डोंट सी इट इन योर टेक्स्ट बुक, इट शैल नॉट बी देयर इन एनीवेयर एल्स, राइट? ओके, प्रॉब्लम इज दैट. सो डोंट बॉदर अबाउट इट. ओके, बेसिक अंडरस्टैंडिंग अबाउट civilization is important. Take a note. Just give me 2 more minutes time. Take a note. Indus Valley polity, give the subheading polity. Polity. Cities may have been governed by rich merchants and traders, full stop. The form of governance may be defined as oligarchy, underline oligarchy, within brackets the rule of the rich. Next paragraph. However, for D.D. Koshambi, Damodar Dharmanand Koshambi, D.D. Koshambi, the first Marxist historian, cities may have been governed by Indus Valley cities may have been governed by the priests, P-R-I-E-S-T, priests, as it happened in Egypt and Mesopotamia. Right. We shall stop here for today. Okay. For society, you will get synopsis posted. Right? Any, difference of information what you see, you kindly bring it to me or post your questions here. I told you, I will answer. There's one question, 1 minute. Any evidence for lift irrigation in Indus Valley times in India? Yes, there is. Lift irrigation. Evidence is there. You want exact site? I will give you tomorrow. Right. Let it be very clear.